All right, Frankie. I see you wearing your Italia jersey, which means we're obviously going to talk a little Italian soccer right now.
Oh, you got the
Italy,
perfect guy here.
Italy is off to the finals of Euro 2020. This one's really sweet, and I was kind of thinking about it. You ever had like a really bad stomach flu, and it's like you just it's like death, and like the time right after the stomach flu is like the best time when you're just getting back to normal and it's happy. It's like rock bottom is awful. But the time after rock bottom can be some of your fondest memories. And that's what I kind of get with this Italian team. They hit rock bottom 3 years ago. This team missed a chance to go to the World Cup. They didn't qualify. That was rock bottom for Italian soccer. And now, a mere 3 years later, this is almost sweeter that it was like, it's like the saying, the dawn is, it's darkest before the dawn, and the dawn is coming. It's just to see them come back this fast. It just felt like they were in no man's land 3 years ago to this. Isn't this like an amazing story for this team?
Number one, your analogies get better every week. When you can tell the sarcasm. Interesting comparison, but I know where you're going with that. Listen, I'm not going to be the first guy to sit here. I'd be wearing the jersey. I got the background, but I'm not going to claim I'm an expert. I'm more of an observer, and it doesn't take an expert to know that it's an epic fail not making the World Cup, and that's something where that it kind of reminds me, Rob, when they talk about the Olympics or the World Championships in hockey, how you always have your the main guys are always there. They never have to qualify. It's not an Olympics if Canada's not there, if USA's not there, Sweden, etc. It's not a World Cup without Italy, without Brazil, without they still have to qualify. It's just but that element is there. You know what I mean? And for them not to be there, you're right. It's rock bottom for this team. I myself, trying to understand more about this team. I asked Joe, I asked some other guys that I know, and the whole thing about this team was again, Rob. We talk about stories. It's a good story. This is a team where it's one of their youngest that they've put in a long time, and the expectation was they're probably going to come out of the group, get some experience, and be ready for the next World Cup because they're going to be 2 years older. A lot of the core of this team is probably going to be there, and they'll be ready, to be one of those up and coming teams to take the title. Now we're here. This kind of reminds me of the Austin Matthews rookie year of the Leafs, where you know what I mean? It's like, what are they
Faster
doing
than you
here?
expected.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Faster than we expected. So now our expectations are that much more. But wow, what a story! Just to watch the the way they're playing to me is a lot different than what we've expected in the past. Instead of that laying back, waiting for a mistake, Montreal Canadiens hockey, it's now it's attacking, it's fast, it's transition. We use that word a lot. Comparisons to hockey and soccer. It's
Mhm.
transition. It's exciting. And a casual fan like myself, I got to be honest with you, I might even start watching soccer after this is done. This is what it's done to me. Joe wants to talk about the F1 series on Netflix, how it's made him a fan. This tournament and the way that the Italians have played has actually got a casual fan like myself a little bit more excited to watch soccer when this tournament's over. And I've never think I've ever said that before. Coming from somebody who really doesn't have the attention span to watch, snipers in the stands and hitting guys, like they fall
Yeah.
and just, you know what I mean? So that's just my perspective.
And this might be a good thing from the MLS. I mean, the MLS might draw people that they're like, yeah, let's jump on board. You brought up something that I wanted to touch on. This is a different looking team, and what happens is when you hit rock bottom, you kind of get to build yourself up from the ground up. And this team, 2018, I remember hearing like, "Hey, Italy might not qualify," and I was like, "What? Like, shut up, get out of my face." And then they didn't, and it's like, are you serious? Like, did this really happen? It was one of the most shocking things. I never thought I'd ever see this. But the good thing is that you get to kind of, they always say it's better to be at the bottom of the ladder. You want to climb than halfway up one you don't. So there was like almost no pressure on this team. Roberto Mancini's done a great job, and he looks like a hero now. And they have just I remember them talking in 2018 where they're like, we got to get younger, we got to bring in some of these young kids, and they just refused. And it was the older guys, and now we're seeing this youth movement of a lot of younger guys. Now there's still some guys like Insigne that's a little bit older. That hey, listen, this team's going to be just as good, if not better, at the World Cup in a year and a half. So it is a great story. It's great to see. We saw them. They've been the best team in the tournament, in my opinion, by far. Today, people are going to say they struggled. I saw it differently. I thought, Spain had a lot of possession, but I mean, they didn't really have a ton of chances until Italy scored, and that's when they started putting the pressure on. But it is a tremendous story. People are going crazy here, and I'm sure it's everywhere where there's an Italian community. But to see them, I think it's partly that we just didn't get to see this team 3 years ago. So the last time we saw them was 5 years ago, and they didn't really have very much success at that Euro. So tremendous story. So now we've got the other semifinal. We've got Denmark. We've got England. Is there a team you prefer Italy played?
This kind of sounds a lot like the if you're a Leaf fan, who would you want to play, Montreal or Winnipeg? Kind of the same comparison, right?
Well, a little
I
bit.
think, well, if you look at it from a historical standpoint, wouldn't you want to see two powerhouses, for the quality of soccer, Italy and England in England, because that's, just by chance, that's where the semis and finals are. From a story standpoint, that's gonna be an amazing game. And I have to disagree with you from what I've seen and what I've heard. This is England's tournaments to lose. They're playing some really good soccer right now, both on the offense and defensive side. And I think they are the team to beat. However, selfishly, then you have another story with Denmark. We all remember what happened with Denmark, and they even lost their first game to Finland, and now they find themselves here rallying around a teammate, the Christian Eriksen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Italians are rallying around a teammate for a different reason, but still Spinazzola was a big part of this team, went down with the Achilles injury. So there's some parallels there. So I think for the excitement factor, me personally, I'd like to see England just for the game would be just amazing to watch. But come on, Denmark, let's go. Get a little Freddie Anderson action going.
I forgot to bring up, there is one person in our Euro preview, our soccer specialist said, do not sleep on this Italian team, and good things are coming. And he was right, and they look great. I'm going 100% different because everybody's gonna think everybody like Denmark seems like the easier team, and Denmark is a fantastic story. There is no question. I want to see England win that semifinal, and I want to see Italy England. No question. And that means it'll probably be a much tougher game. I still think Italy is the best team in this tournament. England's played well in the last couple of games, but they've been criticized a lot along the way. I was one of the few people that picked them to beat Germany. I said they're going to get to the Final Four. I've picked them. I like England. I like the style of soccer they play. So I have all these rooting interests, but most of all, this would be legendary. This would be historic. Two mega soccer powers, Italy, England, Wembley Stadium. The historic factor, this would be win, lose, or draw. That's the route I want to see. And it'd be probably best for Italy to play Denmark. I haven't seen a lot of Denmark, but they're a smaller team. But I would rather see them. Normally, you want to play the weaker side. In this case, I'm sitting there going, I want to see best on best. I want to see two of the best teams, two teams that are very similar, two teams that are young up front but have talent, two teams that have two excellent center backs. Like we have the two center backs on England, which people are saying are the best in the world right now, in Maguire and Stones. And then you have on the other side, Bonucci and Chiellini, who are two of the best of the last maybe 10 years. So they're teams that are really kind of similar. I want to see the two young teams just go at it. So I would love to see England, Italy final at Wembley. That's where I'm going with that one.
Okay, so let me say, if that is where we're headed, give a prediction.
I think everybody's saying England's bringing it home. It'd be hard for me to pick against the Italians. I think Spain was going to be the toughest test for them, given the style of play that Spain was a team that they like possession. I mean, every game they're 70+% possession. And Italy was a team that was pushing teams back. Today was the first time we saw them back up. We saw them kind of on their heels. So I think against England, they can push England a little bit more than they did against Spain. I mean, that crowd's going to be going crazy, but I'm still going to go. I can't go against the boys. I can't go against the homeland. So I'm going to take Italy to beat England if they play England.
My heart says Italy 2-0. My head and my wallet say England 2-1. So I can't lose either way.
Yeah.
I'm in this random pool. I guess it's a work related, and there's like 150 guys in it. I'm middle of the pack, but my final is right. I have an Italy-England final with Italy winning, so I have to stay there. I'm not going to win the pool, but at least I got my final right. So, if they beat Denmark.
This England team kind of feels like a team of destiny, where they kind of strolled out of the group. They I believe they won the group, but it wasn't convincing. And then they get Germany, like the team, their nemesis, and they get through them. I've been watching all the England games. I've been loving it, man. I'm such an England guy. I've always liked England. I like their style, but I guess we'll find out in a few days. But give us your predictions. Smash the like, smash the subscribe. Tell us if you don't like hearing us talk about soccer, and then maybe we'll talk about it more. Frank, though, thanks a lot. Let's
Forza Duty.